Up 192 units over the past 365 days, Ralph Michaels and Akeem Profit sit at number 1 and number 2 in NBA profit combined. Sitting in number 1 is Ralph Michaels at 107 units, and right behind him in number 2 is Akeem Profit picking up 86 units. For a limited time, you can get 7 days of NBA picks from both Ralph Michaels and Akeem Profit for only $69, coming out to less than $10 per day or less than $5 per day per handicapper. This special discounted price includes all NBA client releases over the next 7 days, including any rare 5% NBA best bets, generally priced at $35. You don't want to miss out on this 2-for-1 from our number 2 and 1.
Welcome, everybody, to WagerTalk Today. I'm Lawrence Prezidental. He's Teddy Covers. You're watching the best daily sports betting show on the planet. Teddy, I missed yesterday. I watched it 3 times, dude. I mean, gripping. How are you, and what guests are on today?
Well, I'm doing okay, Prez. We lost a 5% big ticket last night, and that's never fun.
What was it on?
It was on the Philadelphia 76ers, and Doc Rivers isn't going to get any Christmas cards from me this year.
Enough.
I thought the last
I can't handle this.
2 minutes of the third quarter into the fourth, Doc Rivers got pretty badly outcoached. And we saw a big run against Philly and no answers for the 76ers until down the stretch when it was too late. So a little bit of a frustrating defeat. Nonetheless, we're not going to harp on it. We're back in action again today. We have a loaded football card this weekend. And on today's show, we've got Jimmy Adams. He's going to talk Steelers Saints and Browns Dolphins in NFL action. Ralph Michaels, the Pen, is going to join us. He's got a couple of charts talking about NBA rest. He's also going to look at the Warriors Cavs in the NBA and Georgia Mississippi State in college football. Andy Lang's going to close out the show. You know what he likes to do. He loves the props. We've got Mecole Hardman props. We got Devontae Adams props. We got Jared Allen props. It's going to be a loaded show. And, of course, for my big game breakdown, I'm going to talk Bears-Lions at Soldier Field. So that's what we got on tap for Friday's show, Prez. Back to you.
So I told you to stop because you're annoying me, and I'll tell you why. I'm having a kick-ass NBA season, dude. I'm on a 19-8 run. I'm 64% to start the season. I've had 3 losses in the last 3 days. I released the Celtics. You released the Celtics. Terrible loss. Next day, I released Detroit. I'll say it the other way. You released Detroit. Then I released Detroit. Loss. Last night, I have 2 NBA plays. My only loser? The 76ers. So what we figured out is if you and I are on the same play, bet against it. So guys, please buy both Teddy and my package on a regular basis. Find those plays that we both like, and then bet against it. Oh my God, Teddy. Oh, that's 3 days in a row. You and I have lost the same NBA play. Anyway, I watched a great show last night. We'll talk about it in a sec. Jimmy Adams joining us, everyone. Jimbo! 18-5 to start the NFL season. I bow to thee. That is sick, dude. That is so sick. That is at a level of sickness where, I mean, they might actually have to make a vaccine for that. That's how sick that is.
Hey, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you having me on. Yeah, it's been a great start to the season, or, not start. I mean, we're about halfway through now, but kind of kicking myself. I gave out a big ticket on the Chargers. We were kind of fortunate to push there, but I wanted to take the Seahawks, and I talked myself off of it because it just looked too easy. But we got another one up for this week, so hopefully we can continue to cash.
Okay, my brother, and we also have a promo for everyone, and guys, take advantage of that. We'll give it out in a little bit. Brother, the Saints and the Steelers are playing this Sunday. Saints have been a really tough team for me because, they play Vegas, they look like all world. Then the next week, I bet them, and they stink. Pittsburgh just stinks, but they're coming off of a bye. What do we do in this football game?
Yeah, I don't see a lot of scoring happening in this one. So first of all, like the return of TJ Watt is going to do wonders for this defense. The impact he has on a game is tremendous, as everyone knows. I don't have many concerns about their ability to hold the Saints offense in check. We saw what they did last week. As far as offensively, good luck scoring, against a strong Saints secondary, especially with Kenny Pickett at quarterback. Pickett, the lowest passer rating in the game, 66.8. 2 TDs, 8 picks, and that's on only a 5.8 yards per attempt. Saints defense just held Lamar Jackson to 133 yards through the air. And this is a New Orleans team. Look, they need to run the ball to be successful. They didn't run it much last week because they weren't having success. But when this team wins games, it's because they're having success on the ground. Running is obviously going to take more time off the clock. Pittsburgh does a surprisingly good job as well at defending opposing running backs through the air. So they may be able to cover Alvin Kamara a little bit better than other teams have. Either way, I don't see a lot of points happening in this one. So give me the under all the way.
So when I look at Pittsburgh, it's like I feel like the Steelers' run defense has been okay. But when they face a good passing attack, that defense has gotten lit up. They've really struggled. Now, that may get better with Watt projected to be back in the lineup this week. But when we're talking about a total in this range and two teams with, let's call them spotty pass defenses, I don't know how you want to describe the Saints. Does it concern you that we could see some big plays in this one? Because that's my biggest fear for playing an under this low, that you're going to see a couple of quick strike touchdowns and all of a sudden, you're sweating.
Yeah, so if you're going to see big strike performances, it's going to come out of the Saints side. I don't see Kenny Pickett. I have absolutely no faith that he's going to be able to do anything. And when I was talking run defense, I'm mainly talking against the pass. I feel like they've excelled there. But I do not think Pittsburgh's going to be able to put up points. The Saints may be able to. They've shown glimpses prior to their last game, but I don't think this gets over the total.
Jimmy Adams joining us, everyone. 18-5 to start NFL. If he talks NFL, you should be writing notes. Jimmy, we got a promo for you. 7-day all access, $69. The promo code is Jimmy7. Guys, his NFL alone is going to be $39, give or take. And this is a steal of a deal. $69, 7-day all access, Jimmy7. And as Teddy points out, that's got a nice ring to it. That's like Jimmy7. That could be your last name.
Yeah. Very good. Go grab that for sure.
Teddy is in play on this game. I'm in play on this game. We've both admitted it publicly a few days ago. The Cleveland Browns are playing the Dolphins. The line has moved down to 3.5. How are you betting this game?
So I expect a pretty good performance out of Cleveland, fresh off their bye. We all know that they had that dominating 32-13 win, against Cincy heading into the bye. Jacoby Brissett he's gonna be motivated to beat the team that released him last year. Key, clearly, limit the big plays from Tua to Waddle and Hill. So how do we do that? Well, we're going to use a strong ground game to, control time of possession and keep them off the field. Sounds simple enough. Browns rank third in the NFL in rush yards per game at 164.6. Nick Chubb averaging over 100 yards, 5.6 per carry. And when he's out of the game, you just hand the ball to Kareem Hunt, who's averaging 4 yards per carry. So the Dolphins' defense has not been good, particularly against opposing QBs. They're ranked 30th in the NFL in pass defense. So Amari Cooper could have a good game in this one. As soon as Miami decides they want to stack the box and try and just shut down the run, That's when you look for these receivers to just take off. So at getting more than a field goal, I'm going to be on the Browns this week.
Teddy?
So, Prez, this game did not make my card. I was looking at the Miami side, and at 3, I'll be a buyer on Miami, but we haven't seen the 3s yet for the Dolphins. Here's my question for you, all right? This Dolphins offense right now is as good as any in the NFL. Ain't nobody shutting them down, all right? And the defense last week couldn't contain Justin Fields. They had a spy on Fields, and even with the spy, it didn't make a difference because Fields was just making plays. But nobody else did anything, start to finish. That defense for Miami, I think, might be an undervalued commodity right now. What do you think of that as a concept? Do you think Miami's defense is capable of stepping up, and can Jacoby Brissett make the same kind of plays that Justin Fields made last week? Because Brissett, not a QB, I love my money.
Oh, I mean, good question as always, Teddy. So I think that Brissett can do enough here. I don't think that the Dolphins can slow down Chubb and Hunt, one of the best, probably the best duo in the NFL. So they're just gonna, and you're not gonna stop the trio there of Waddle, Tua, and Cheetah. So you got to keep them on the sidelines. I know their offense has been terrific, so let's keep them on the sidelines. Let's move the chains through the running game, and then let's have Brissett make some throws when he needs to when they stack the box. See if we can get maybe a straight up winner, but definitely at the plus 3.5. That's the way I'll be playing it.
Jimmy Adams, everyone, as we spoke about, Jimmy 7-day all access, $69, Jimmy 7. What do you have going on for the clients over the next few days?
Yeah, things have been really good. 14-2 NFL run. We kind of spoke about that. Get the special 5% play going on Sunday. We're 3-0 to start the college basketball campaign with another play up for tonight. We're in action in NBA and college football. So whatever you want, just go over to WagerTalk.com. There's some free plays up there as well that I didn't talk about. So let's have a great weekend.
Awesome stuff. Jimmy Adams, everybody. Teddy, what did you happen to learn last night in the wonderful world of sports betting?
Well, I learned this. The Atlanta Falcons did not yet beat me for their season win total. NFL win totals are coming around right now. We actually had the first team, this is, again, halfway through the season. First team cashed their win total last week. That was the New York Football Jets. They went over the total. 5.5 was the close. They got a 6 wins right now. So if you have a Jets over ticket in your pocket, you've already cashed. If you have a Jets under ticket in your pocket, you already lost it. I was hoping, I have an Atlanta under ticket in my pocket, as do my clients. It's not certainly looking good. If I can get a push out of that, it'll be a miracle. Nonetheless, we didn't lose it last night as the Falcons fall to 4-6. And we've got, let's see, the Bucs are coming up against it. They can go under 11.5 if they lose this week. The Giants, my clients and I have Giants over. We can get to a push at 7 this week. Seattle is pushed already at over 6 wins. Green Bay has pushed already at under 11 wins. So when it comes to these NFL win totals, yeah, there's going to be a handful that come down to week 17, week 18 of the season. But if you got any of these in your pocket that are cashing, before Thanksgiving, solid, right sides. Good luck with any wagers that you have. Little NFL win total talk, Prez, mid-season style. That's what I learned last night.
Okay, well, Kip Corin writes, is there any way WagerTalk experts could dress more like Teddy and also eliminate the backward hat wearing? Look, I'm not going to tell people how to dress. I never wear my hat backward, but clearly Kip is not loving the T-shirt look from the Prez. I love your look, Teddy, and I have contemplated over and over again whether to blazer it up for these shows, but it seems to be your signature. I don't want to step on it. I will just continue wearing the T-shirts. Do you think I should blazer it up? I got some kick-ass blazers, dude. You want me to blazer it up next week?
That's entirely up to you. I found that I was more comfortable on air. I thought, and it was really, this was trial and error for me to get to the T-shirt underneath and the jacket over look. It was trial and error. I had a bunch of looks, and I'm like, that doesn't look right. That's not me. I didn't want to wear a button down. I don't look good in a T-shirt on air. This is a look that works for me. Whatever look works for whoever's out there.
Yeah.
That's their business. But it's my signature now. Yeah, but Prez, I don't own the look. If you want to wear a T-shirt with a jacket, knock yourself out, buddy.
Guys, if you want me to blazer it up, put it in the comment section. I will check. Also, give us some likes, please. Teddy, you're having a great hair day. Listen, I watched a show last night on Netflix that I have to tell everybody to watch. And I know Teddy's super busy. It's an hour and a half. But Teddy, this is a must watch. The show is called Orgasm Inc. It's about the story of this woman, Nicole something or other, who started a company called One Taste, where they teach women how to have hour long orgasms. Now, the documentary veered completely in a direction we didn't see coming. The whole thing ended up being a cult, and she used this opportunity to make a lot of money from men by having them be able to give orgasms to these women. So it was like basically a prostitution ring. But her techniques had a lot of real positive, there were a lot of positive words on her techniques. So I'm going to try it, dude. I got to admit, I have been YouTubing the instructional videos, and I am going to give it a go. Thoughts?
It's a football Friday, Prez. You can watch your porn on your own time.
Porn? I'm telling people, you know what? That is what is wrong with society. Women's pleasure is not porn. It is the highest form of deliciousness on the planet. Ralph Michaels joining us. How are you, my friend? Well, what am I doing
and
on
76 college basketball games. Hey, Prez. Hey, Teddy. Happy Friday.
Anything else you guys want to start with me about? I don't know. Teaching a person how to have an hour-long orgasm or discussing football for 2 minutes. I'm sure we could put the 2 minutes aside and focus on something super crucial. Anyway. Okay, Ralph,
that's
my
a Wednesday
brother,
topic,
dude.
Prez.
Teddy. It's a Wednesday. You know what? You are right. It is a Wednesday. You know what?
I know.
This coming Wednesday show, I will be giving the techniques out, so make sure to stay tuned. Ralph, we just said Jimmy Adams on, and he's on an 18-5 NFL run. You, dude, are right there, man. 18-4-1 NFL run. You are in the freaking zone right now. Your NHL, your NBA. I mean, everything is just lights out for you right now. Congratulations.
Appreciate it. I'm one away from being on that top 3 leaderboard for the last 30 days, on the last 7 days. And for anyone that wants to try, I mean, there's no better time in sports, doing 5 sports, all this college hoops. I do have a special Ralph 30. Gets you 30% off any package, $2.99 or higher. So it's not for the weekly guys, but if you know you want to be with me for college basketball or the rest of football, a 30-day, a 90-day, or a full-year package, Ralph 30 is the special.
Oh, my God. We're going to get into your games, but I got to read what RJ just wrote. If I can't orgasm for an hour, neither can she. That is a great line. I'm not with you, but that is an excellent line, RJ. Congratulations. Ralph, let's start with Friday night NBA. Golden State playing Cleveland. Do you have a bet for us, or do you want to do the chart first? You know what, dude? You're so good at this, you decide.
Let's do your chart while we have everyone's attention. So,
okay.
Sometimes I give you numbers that are wild. Sometimes I give you numbers that help you realize what the realistic expectations are in a situation. And we talk about rest often in the NBA. So the top chart, you'll see it's rest 0 versus opponent rest 1. So this is only when the team whose records are listed are playing back-to-back games and their opponent has exactly 1 day rest. You'll see that a home favorite is 46%, but everything else is actually, if you're a home dog, if you're on the road, having no rest has actually not been a negative. It's been just above the Mendoza line. So the top half of the chart really means nothing. I just wanted to show you that don't fall into a trap that says if a team's playing back-to-back games, you want to fade that team. It's not the case. But take a look at the second chart on the bottom. Rest equals 0 and opponent rest greater than 1. So when a team is at least at a 2-day deficit for rest, be it home favorite, be it home dog, be it away favorite, be it away dog, if you have no rest, playing a rested team, there is no situation since 2017 that has been a positive. I do want to note, if you see in the top, I excluded the 2020 season because of the bubble, because the rest was so much different for those teams, not doing traveling and not being in traditional settings. But the two biggest situations, home dogs with no rest against a team with at least 2 days rest have only covered 35.7% of the time, and away favorites with no rest against a rested team have only covered 44.2% of the time. It doesn't happen that often. I took a look. I'm not sure I got them all, but the next couple situations where I have no rest against 2 days is November 16th, the Pelicans against the Bulls, and I believe November 19th, Philadelphia against Minnesota. But don't hold me to that. I looked at them real quick to see when the next ones were.
So, Ralph, when you're talking about a situation like this that doesn't come around all the time, but is clearly profitable over an extended period of time, and then you say you threw out the results of 2020. 2020 only had the handful of games that were in the bubble. They had it was March when the season got cut short. March 12th, if memory serves correctly. That was the night that Rudy Gobert got COVID and the whole thing started. How come you took out the whole season and not just the back portion for the bubble? Because I'd be interested to see what the numbers were for the first 75% of the campaign when everything was quote unquote normal.
Tony, that's a great question. And to be honest with you, I don't have a great answer. In my head, I just had bubble season, not the same, 2020, and took it out. So, hey, there's times that I'm human too, and I don't have a good answer for you. But I will, after the show, I will post the 2020 numbers, and you could share them with the guests after to see if something did pop up.
Awesome. Well, I'll take a look at them.
Ralph Michaels joining us. Ralph, so good. We love having you on this show, man. Let's talk NBA. Golden State against Cleveland tonight. Here is the line. It is -2.5 for Golden State. 231.5 is the total. What are you doing in this game?
Golden State is a team that's had some horrible defensive performances this year. The Cavs, up until a few days ago, were maybe them and Milwaukee were the top two defensive teams. But they're coming in a situation where the Cavs blew a double-digit lead against the Clippers with horrible defense down the stretch, had a lead against Sacramento, played horrible defense down the stretch. In fact, they allowed 50% and 52% their last two games. And the team talked about it in their off day, how we have to play better defense down the stretch. Now, we were never going to be, I say we again, I'm a Cavs fan. With Mitchell and Garland as the guards, you're never going to be a great defensive team because your guards don't play good defense. But they have such a strong front court defense. So here I think they're focused. You look at Golden State. Golden State just came off a 5-game road trip and had played 6 of their previous 7 games on the road. They held Sacramento to 40.7%, under 41. You look at Golden State's other 2 home games. They held the Lakers to 43. They held Miami to 44. At home, they have played decent defense, and I think that's a big difference. Then there's a system I have. It's not a strong system. It's about a 63% where if a team lost as an away favorite by 2 or more, and now they're a dog again, it's been a solid 62% system to the under. So put together the Cleveland's lack of defense the last 2 games, them talking about it in the post-game press conferences, Golden State returning home for a second game and having played better home defense. I think this number is completely inflated from some of the previous Warrior games we see, and I think there's value on the under.
So I'll start with this, Ralph. I agree 100% with the play. In fact, I agree with it enough that it's a client play for me this evening. My only client play in the NBA, so don't buy it. You just got it here. Ralph gave it out. Appreciate that. And as long as it doesn't match with Prez's, we'll be fine.
It doesn't. It is not a match.
This is my biggest concern about the game. Warriors, pace. They're the fastest team in the NBA. All right, that's why this total's as high as it is. Their pace rating's number 1. No team has gone up and down the floor faster than Golden State this year. And at times, Cleveland can get dragged into that. How worried are you about Golden State's number 1 pace rating and how fast they like to play?
Well, you look at the pace, Teddy. Golden State has still only topped 116 points once in their last 6 games, and that was that Orlando shootout a few weeks ago. So, yeah, the pace numbers are there. They've been sloppy with turnovers, so they haven't gotten there. But I also like the way they're rebounding the ball. And I'm comfortable that pace and what they've done previously is part of the reason we're seeing such an inflated high number.
Ralph, let's talk some college football. We got Georgia this week, Saturday, -16 against Mississippi State. I mean, is this a letdown game? It's hard for there to be letdown games now. They got to keep on cruising. Where are we going here, brother?
I'm on Georgia. It's a client play. It's already released. I released it at 16. There are a few 16s or 16 and a half, so I'm still fine with that number. And if you're a new team to the system, yes, I can see a letdown situation. If Georgia was at home laying 40 points to an FCS foe, I could see a letdown situation. This is a national championship team that's won 27 of their last 28 games, and I think being on the road at Mississippi State actually helps them. You got the cowbells. You have to focus. You're playing that type of an opponent. But this, to me, is the biggest mismatch on the board this week. You look at Georgia, and yes, they're the best defense in my mind in the country. And my stats show it, where they're number one holding foes to 154 yards under what they allow on the average. What people don't talk about is the Georgia offense. The offense is actually number 4 in the country, averaging 130 yards more per game than their opponents allow. And then you look at Mississippi State. Yeah, they've had some big numbers against some weak opponents. But the top opponents they played, the best 3 defenses they faced, yes, they've been on the road, 289 yards to LSU, 225 to Kentucky, 293 to Alabama. When you look at Georgia, Georgia's going to run the ball. When you look at Mississippi State's top 4 rush offenses they faced, 206 and 5.4 allowed, 241 and 5.5, 239 and 5.0, 256 and 5.6. Dink and dunk offense for Mississippi State, great back 7 for Georgia. Georgia pulls away easily. And I've mentioned this a few times. Remember, when you have a team like Georgia going on the road, at home, you might dress 100 and 120 or 130 kids, where you might be playing 3rd and 4th string people. On the road, you are limited by conferences on how many players you could take, anywhere between 68 and 74, depending on the conference. That means you're going to take your 1s, you're going to take your 2s, you're going to take your special teams, and you're going to take some 3s. You have quality people for Georgia on the road running the ball in the second half against a weak rush defense. Bulldogs get it done, actual client release.
Teddy.
So here's the question. We've got one previous meeting between Leach and Kirby Smart, Mike Leach and Kirby Smart. And Mississippi State was a 26.5-point dog. They lost by 7. They threw for 336 yards against Georgia's defense and scored 24 points. That's the only meeting we have between these two teams. What makes you think that this year's version of the Bulldogs, which has moved the football against some pretty good defenses, is going to get shut down on Saturday?
Well, number one, Teddy, that game was 2 seasons ago in a COVID year when they were off a loss against Florida, and they came home in a sandwich. That was their only home game in 6 weeks. They went to Alabama and lost. They went to Kentucky, won. Then they played Florida. Then they had at South Carolina, at Missouri on the road. That situation calls for letdown. Now, and they already had 2 losses on the season. You now have a national championship team that is dominant.
Ralph, you killed it. 10 out of 10. What is that promo code again?
Ralph 30.
And you get 30 days of Ralph.
No,
you get
30% off any package, $299 or higher.
Well,
so
exactly, yeah. So come on, Ralph, you're like a boring sales guy.
30-day, full season, 12 months. 12 months, you're going to save almost $600 if you're interested in it. Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend. You know what? I'm going to throw out one bonus. I'm going to throw out one bonus college basketball. I am on Virginia tonight at a client release. Yes, they're laying 3 touchdowns. I'm talking college basketball. It's one of the rare 5 returning starters versus 0 for Monmouth. Monmouth turned the ball over 20-plus times last game. Virginia absolutely dominates them tonight in college hoops.
There you go. Guys, breaking news. Jeff Saturday will be joining us right after this break.
192 units over the past 365 days. Ralph Michaels and Akeem Profit sit at number 1 and number 2 in NBA profit combined. Sitting in number 1 is Ralph Michaels at 107 units, and right behind him in number 2 is Akeem Profit picking up 86 units. For a limited time, you can get 7 days of NBA picks from both Ralph Michaels and Akeem Profit for only $69, coming out to less than $10 per day or less than $5 per day per handicapper. This special discounted price includes all NBA client releases over the next 7 days, including any rare 5% NBA best bets, generally priced at $35. You don't want to miss out on this 2-for-1 from our number 2 and 1.
It is time for today's big game breakdown. Let's go to the NFL for Sunday and take a look at the NFC North matchup, the Lions and the Bears at Soldier Field. Looking at the WagerTalk live on screen right now, I'm seeing mostly -3s for Chicago. There are plenty of -2.5s out there. So if you like the Bears, shop around. If you like the Lions, shop around. I'm going to talk about the total here, which is sitting at 48.5, which is a really high total for Soldier Field. And for a divisional game, and all the divisional games this year are going under, and there's all these Soldier Field games going under. I don't care what the trends say. Right now, the Bears are the number 1 over team in the NFL. It's really not that close. This team has no defense. They traded away their best 2 defenders over the last 2 weeks. 12 touchdowns allowed, 0 field goals. That tells you what the red zone is looking like. Allowed 14 to 25 on third down conversions. This is not a defense that's capable of getting consistent stops right now. It's not like the Lions can't move the football. Their offensive line is loaded. On the other side of the equation, look, the Lions defense is not fixed. All right. Last week, Aaron Rodgers made some poor decisions in the red zone, but Green Bay moved the ball up and down the field. And Chicago, they scored 29 plus each of the last 3 weeks. What we're seeing from Justin Fields is not a mirage. The weather going to be okay at Soldier Field. This total is high for a reason. Look for the Lions and Bears to get up and over the total, 48.5, the current number. There's your big game breakdown. Back to you, Mr. Prez.
Teddy, we're on the same page. I don't know if that's a bad thing, but guys, the NFL Presidential Address is hopefully up. And you can hear my take on that game, plus every single game on the board. Head over to WagerTalk TV, our YouTube channel, and check it out. Jeffrey Saturday, let's start with, how did you get this job?
Well, first off, Prez, I got to get in the spirit of things.
Wait a minute. We didn't even plan this.
Let's go. Let's go. Come on, Saturday. God, I love being here on a Friday. The way I got the job was I did the interview on a Saturday, which is obviously the best day of the week. And I always crush things on Saturdays. So the key is always flourish on Saturdays.
So is it going to be Matt Ryan? Is it going to be Ellinger? Are you going to cover the point spread? Is the game going over or under? I mean, you're the coach of the Indianapolis Colts. What do you got for us?
I don't know who any of those guys are. It's all about the center and the offensive line. That's where we need to dominate. So we can put Ryan Matt, we can put Steve Ellinger in, but as long as we're good at the center position, I feel great about our chances.
Excellent stuff, Teddy. Any quick questions? I mean, we don't get the coach of an NFL team on very often.
No, it's clear that Andy is less CTE than the real Jeff Saturday. So let's just roll with it.
Andy, what a great Friday before a Saturday. What a great Friday before a Saturday, I tell you.
Look at you, man. Dude, you got your promo as well. Everybody who came on the show today has a promo. I just got in trouble from some guy who says I ask for likes too often. I ask for likes maybe twice a show, and this is the second time. We are at 87, guys, 400 watching. You want 3 NFL bets from me? Hit that freaking like button. Dude, that shirt is almost see-through. Please never wear it again. What do you have for us in prop bets? Go through them all at once, and then Teddy will ask you a question if he wants.
All right, let's break down some actual. This is Andy talking, not Jeff. So, all right, let's talk Mecole Hardman. I'm going to take him to score a touchdown at plus 175. I also think you could look at his receiving yards when they come out. But Kansas City, as we know, they score a lot of touchdowns, and they do it by throwing the ball, not running. They have 21 passing touchdowns and only 8 rushing touchdowns. Of those 8 rushing touchdowns, 2 were actually by Mecole Hardman. So they're playing Jacksonville. Jacksonville has given up 11 receiving touchdowns to wide receivers. That's third most in the league. The first 4 games of the season, Mecole Hardman had 8 catches for 71 yards and 1 touchdown. So he started off the year not very good. But he has really emerged the last 4 games. Hardman, 17 catches, 226 yards, and 3 touchdowns. What I'm seeing with the Kansas City Chiefs are 2 wide receivers emerging. That's Juju Smith-Schuster and Mecole Hardman. Obviously, Kelsey is going to be the number 1, but we've seen Hardman be much more involved in the offense inside the red zone. He's got the trust of Patrick Mahomes, and if teams really want to take away Kelsey, it's going to open up Smith-Schuster and Hardman. So I love this plus 175 on Hardman to score a touchdown. Next one I'm going to talk about is Davante Adams over 82.5 yards receiving, and I just saw a quote from Davante Adams. Yikes. So I'm going to take him over. So for the Raiders, Darren Waller is on IR. Hunter Renfrow is on IR.
Yeah.
And Davante Adams was sick against the Saints where he had 3 yards receiving. But other than that, he's had 95 or more receiving in 4 straight games. He had 17 targets last week. And the quote from Davante Adams was that he was saying, there's no reason for me to be here in Las Vegas if you're not going to throw me the ball if I'm double teamed. Basically saying Derek Carr is being way too safe and needs to throw him the ball more, even though he had 17 targets last week. So here in Indianapolis, let's just say I am not real. I don't have a lot of faith that the Colts are going to be really prepared for this game. And here's their opponents. They have not faced very good passing offenses. They played the Texans. They played the Jaguars twice, the Titans twice, the Broncos, the Commanders, the Patriots, and the Chiefs. The best 2 wide receivers they faced this year based on yards receiving per game are Juju Smith-Schuster and Terry McLaurin. Both of them easily went over their receiving totals. I don't think the Colts are ready for someone like Davante Adams. They have not faced a receiver quarterback duo like Derek Carr and Davante Adams. I think Adams has a big day. I don't trust the Colts offense to hold the ball for any long periods of time. So take Davante Adams. And then in the NBA, I'm going to take Jared Allen over 13.5 points. What we're seeing in the NBA is taking advantage and exploiting bad defenses against certain positions. So the Detroit Pistons have been terrible against guards. My Indiana Pacers, terrible against guards. But the Golden State Warriors trying to guard bigs has been a complete disaster. And this is a great angle on player props, is taking these centers and these power forwards against the Golden State Warriors. So Jared Allen has gone over this total in 4 out of 5 games. I love his shot attempts. The last 5 games, he's averaging 12.2 shot attempts, shooting 54% from the field, 85% from the free throw line. And this matchup is beautiful. Golden State is giving up 27.6 points a game to centers. They allow 120.6 points a game to opponents. So there's plenty of room for everybody on Cleveland to score. Donovan Mitchell should have a good night. I'm going to take Jared Allen because I think this point total is a bit too low at 13.5. I'll take him over his point total against Golden State.
So I have 2 follow-ups here for you, Andy. And of course, Andy likes Mecole Hardman to score a touchdown. Davante Adams over 82.5 receiving yards. Jared Allen over 13.5 points. Let's start with the Jared Allen. All right. Ralph Michaels was just on making a case for the under in that ballgame. I agreed with him. Do you ever worry about with a player prop, if you like the full game under but a player prop over? Is that something that is even coming to the equation? Or look, we're talking about 232 points. There's enough room there for Jared Allen to get to 14, and the game still goes under the total. So does that concern you?
Yeah, I'll look at totals at some point, but I really try and focus on these defensive matchups. They've been very, very successful. I would say, Teddy, I look at pace of play. as opposed to the point total a little bit more. So when you're looking at pace of play, Golden State is number one. So you're going to have a team that goes up and down the court quite a bit. I've just found in handicapping, pace of play is a little bit more applicable to player props than totals of the game. And like you said, with such a high total, this game could go under by 2 or 3 points where the under cashes, and yet Jared Allen scores 20 and Donovan Mitchell, scores 30. So pace of play, I put a little bit more emphasis on than the game total.
Now let's talk about Davante Adams for a minute, because you like him over the total. And here's my question. Isn't the way to go here is to look at some of the Raiders' second or third or fourth receivers and say these guys are going to get the carries or the catches this week, with Waller and Renfro both going on IR? Because you have to think every bit of the Colts' defensive game plan. You said you don't trust them, but they've got to be triple teaming Adams this week, don't you think? And 6 of the last 8 quarters, he's been shut out. He had the huge first half last week, but nothing the week before, nothing after halftime last week. He just threw his friend supposedly under the bus with these quotes. Is this a game where, because for this game to go over the total, Carr's got to be throwing to Adams when Adams is covered and saying, I trust my receiver to make plays. Carr hasn't done that all year. Why is he going to do it this week?
The quote just speaks volumes to me. Derek is obviously upset and Davante's upset, but when these guys go out on the field, I think it's just going to be feed Adams, feed Adams, feed Adams. The Colts might want to try and take him away. Maybe Josh Jacobs gets involved in the passing game, but I've just been seeing these star wide receivers like Tyreek Hill and Davante Adams go over. I know he had that horrible game where he only had 3 yards. He was sick. That was a flu game. So I just don't see this Colts team holding the ball very much. I think they're going to be a disaster on offense. I think Derek Carr forces it in to Davante. I mean, we saw 17 targets last week. I just think the squeaky wheel is going to get greased, and I think the Colts defense is just nowhere near capable of completely shutting out Davante.
Andy Lang, man, there's a reason we have you at the end of every week. You are so good on this show, bro. Thanks for coming on. You got a promo code to give out. What do you got going for the clients?
Oh, we're seeing NBA really, really well, and we got a 5% play tonight. We're 28-15 for plus 34 units in NBA, and very excited. We are 4-1 to start the college basketball season, but it's women's college basketball. I have been wanting to add women's college basketball to the portfolio, and we are off to a 4-1 start. So I'm very, very excited about that. Use the promo code ANDY59, ANDY59. It gets a 7-day pass for $59. That way you can see all of our plays. You can see our women's college basketball. You can see all of our NBA plays. You can see all of our NFL plays. We'll have golf as well. So it's a really, really good way to just see how we attack some of these sports. We're doing great this week, and looking forward to cashing more. And Prez, I actually asked my wife how I could give her an hour of pleasure, and she told me to go organize the garage. So that was a little frustrating.
Dude, that was brilliant. Brilliant. Oh my God. Like mic drop. Get out of here, bro.
See you guys.
Andy Lang, everybody. Oh, we've had some fun today, Teddy, on a football Friday, as you say. Guys, I really want to know. We'll get it the daily presidential address in a sec. I need to know from you guys in the comment section, how much World Cup do you want? It starts in a couple of weeks. We can bring soccer guys on all the time. I commit to you that Carmine Bianco will be on WagerTalk Today starting next week, at least once a week till the end of the World Cup. So there, Carm, once a week, you will come on the show, pick the day you want, and the rest of you, how much World Cup do you want? Let me know. Teddy, it's time. Let's go, Dan. Okay, guys, I got 3 NFL bets for you guys for this coming week, but I do want to point out, if you're not playing my NHL and my NBA, I don't understand. Like, I'm at a loss. My NHL has started 62% on the season. My NHL totals on the year is 8-2. 8-2 in NHL totals. In 4% NHL totals, I'm on a 25-5 run. 25 wins, 5 losses. I won one last night, and I have another going tonight. In NBA, I'm on a 19-8 run. I've started 64%. I have 2 NBA bets going tonight, and my first 2 college basketball bets of the season are up tonight. Make sure to get those plays, and especially my NHL and NBA. Okay, so we got some NFL for you guys. So let's start right off with the Munich game. I like the over in this game, guys. I mean, I understand that Tampa Bay has really struggled to score. I get it. One thing that's interesting about Tampa Bay is they actually have moved the ball. Tom Brady, I think offhand, is 5th in the league in passing yards. This team is just struggling to score. Well, Seattle, their defense is shit. Now, I understand in the last little while their defense has gotten better, but they played against the Giants, an injured Chargers team, and Arizona twice. Those were Seattle's last 4 games. No wonder their defensive stats look better. And I do think Brady and Tampa Bay start putting up some points. Take the over in that game. I like the under in the Pittsburgh-New Orleans game. That's an actual client play that is up for my clients. And if Matthew Stafford plays, I like the over in the Rams-Arizona game. I think we're going to see the Rams start scoring as well. Teddy, what a great week. Best of luck, my friend. Kick ass, everybody. My brother, take us home.
Sure, that's going to wrap it for the week here at WagerTalk Today. We'll do it again next week, each and every weekday, 9 a.m. Pacific time, noon for you back east, your Sports Central for Gamblers right here on WagerTalk TV. Between now and Monday's show, you guys know what to do. Enjoy the games. Good luck.
Up 192 units over the past 365 days, Ralph Michaels and Akeem Profit sit at number 1 and number 2 in NBA profit combined. Sitting in number 1 is Ralph Michaels at 107 units, and right behind him in number 2 is Akeem Profit picking up 86 units. For a limited time, you can get 7 days of NBA picks from both Ralph Michaels and Akeem Profit for only $69, coming out to less than $10 per day or less than $5 per day per handicapper. This special discounted price includes all NBA client releases over the next 7 days, including any rare 5% NBA best bets generally priced at $35. You don't want to miss out on this 2-for-1 from our number 2 and 1.